Hi, Christine here. Welcome back. Today we're going to learn a little bit more about how many stitches per round of the color repeat you're going to use in your yarn. Let's get started. As you remember last week, I said I was really close. I want to show you how close I was on my first estimate with just laying the tape measure on the skein. So I have a yarn swift here. You may not have one at your home, but if your yarn is already skeined up, you can easily put it between two cans of green beans or whatever your favorite vegetable is and stretch it out, give it some tension, and go from there. So last week I said I was at 50 and a half. Giving it some tension here, we are at 51 3/4. So that is how close, just loosely draping the yarn with a tape measure on a table without giving it any stretch of any sorts. You can get really close to something of the original size of the skein. I'm going to get this wound up and we'll get some cast-ons going. All right, I got it wound up. And do you remember this one? This one from last week, I did play around with it and look, I did get the colors to match up. And again, putting a little tension on it helps. However, when I went and did this one and putting a little tension on this, just a little bit, you can tell it is almost 26 inches. So I found the repeat. It's not that hard. You can do the same. And once you do this once or twice, you'll become a pro as well. It'll come naturally, like second nature, like pick your color and go with it. So how are we going to find out how many stitches you use per round for the repeat? Okay, so you're going to have to pick a color because we're going to do a crochet cast on, so that way here we only are counting the stitches. So you can undo your safety pins that are holding everything into place here and find your beginning and pick your color. So in this case, for this one, if I can get it undone here, since we're doing a crochet cast on it and it's only going to be a swatch, you don't need to go too far in. So I'm going to go where the gray starts here. And I'm just going to put a safety pin there. And I am trying to find the correct loop here and pull it away from everyone else in the bunch. So one repeat of this. Let's find the gray again that we're going to use. That lines up. So the gray would be again for one whole repeat on this strand. So then you can use your other safety pin and go through that charcoal gray again right there at the end. So now you should have one color repeat. From safety pin to safety pin, one color repeat of that skein. Okay. So you're going to need some scrap yarn, crochet hook, and your needles. Now, I actually had to Google this. Yarn manufacturers really need to get on the ball with this because Even with my glasses, and I'm not that old, and I just had my eyes checked, I cannot read this. But I know it's fingering weight, so when I Googled it, it says 7.5 stitches per inch and a size 1 to 3 needles. So I got a size 2. I'm going to go in between here. And I'm going to show you a crochet cast on. If you're familiar with that, you can go grab a cup of coffee or tea or something yummy to munch on. I'm only going to show a little bit here. So what you're going to do is create your slip knot onto your crochet hook. Grab your knitting needles and try to keep a hold of that tail really good there. And what you're going to do is get your knitting needles as close as you can. And of course, they don't want to work with the edge of the table here. And essentially, you're going to go around the knitting needle and see if I can get this closer without fumbling. The first one's always a booger here. There you go. Essentially, you just created one on your knitting needle and you still have a loop on your crochet hook. So again, go around, keeping tension and pulling it through your loop. There's two, a few more, just to refresh your memory, because I know sometimes I forget things as well and need a little refresher. Yep, that came off the crochet hook, that's fine. I have 3 now on there. Let's do one more. And then when you get to the end, just put that on there and there you have it. That's the crochet cast on. So to save time, I already started one with the skein I just wound up to save us some time. Now, as I stated before, I was only going to show you, because normally you should make a swatch. These are, I casted on 28 stitches with the crochet cast on, and I started with my color down here, and I have 4 rows because I didn't want to end it in the middle of a row. So 28 times 3 plus 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, because there's that safety pin, sorry. That would be 93 stitches. So using a size 2 needle with this yarn, it takes me 92 stitches in stockinette to go one whole repeat. So some of you may be asking yourself, why should I figure out the color repeat in my yarn when I'm working with it? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Take for example, if you're doing a sweater or something and you don't care if the colors are pulling in one spot or another, but if you do care and you want those colors to meander, it's something important. It's something you're going to want to do. So I'm going to go grab a few things from the studio that I have samples of, and I'll show you why. Okay, these are some of mine, and I do apologize, they're already tagged. I have a show coming up in a few weeks. This is one of my colorways called Endangered, and as you can tell, to find the color repeat in this one would be really easy. And a local favorite is Tsunami, also a very easy one to figure out. This one is a self-striping, and you too also can play with self-striping and make it do what you really want it to do, depending on how many stitches you use, and that's why I'm teaching you how to do this. For instance, Tsunami in a bias scarf, and I've taught this to a few people even via email. It's easy to do. You can make the colors move and create a unique pattern. just by knowing how many stitches per color, the color repeat of the round. Since you're adding one stitch onto one side, taking one away, it's just essentially like a typewriter, just moving them right along nice and slow. It's as easy as that. So with this one, this is a shawl I essentially created, and I created it with subtle pulling by using and alternating another skein of a solid color. And as you can tell, the green's pulled there, the green pulls here a little bit in a unique kind of almost arrow-like fashion. And using the same color, I also created this, and you can tell the colors just meander up, and it looks good just by adding another color to it. So that way here it's not so pungent and out there if that's not something that you're not looking for. Now, this shawl and cow are both available free on my website at uniquesapphire.com for a pattern. And like I said, they work really great with longer colorways. Now with the self-striping, you too could also play with how they're gonna move. Now this is a popular pattern on Ravelry. It is the butterfly papillion shawl. And as you can tell with the colors here, they travel different. Even though it's a self-striping, you can get your colors to move in a nice, timely fashion just by knowing how the pattern's written, how many stitches you use per round once you find your color repeat. So thanks for watching. Click that like and subscribe button. Sorry, I need a cup of coffee or something. And we'll see you next time.